Hello, everybody, on this wonderful, beautiful day. Hello again, and welcome to Habits of Influence with your host, Magdalena, Hanah, and
Ian Manheimer.
and for those that are new here, we sit down every single week and talk about things life and business from a little bit of a deeper perspective. It's supposed to be a loose conversation, indirect mentoring for anybody who wishes to become an influential person, a person that creates a movement of people that are actually super excited of following you. And yeah, every single week I pick a topic that Ian doesn't know what the topic is. He's completely unprepared. I just surprise him, which is super fun. So,
It is pretty fun.
so if you want to, or if you're enjoying already our conversations, I would highly suggest you subscribe to one of the major platforms. We're on every single major platform, podcast platform, as well as YouTube, where you can actually see our faces and see Ian being surprised of what topic I throw at him. Yay! So have I got a topic for you?
Let's do it. All right.
All right. So today I actually wanted to discuss with you something that I have noticed speaking with one of my clients personally, and this is why she was dismissed by her audience, basically, by talking about her personal views around topics that do not revolve around what she was doing or around business in general. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. But before we do, let's roll the intro. Hello and welcome, and thank you for tuning in to Habits of Influence, a project by entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs, where we discuss the good, the bad, and the ugly aspects of building a movement, and hopefully provide insight, as well as motivation for your business journey. Through the combined expertise of 34 years in business, your hosts, Magdalena, Hanah, and Ian Manheimer, are here to empower and indirectly mentor you whilst you become the person others wish to follow. All right, we're back. So, yeah, personal views in business. I mean, I'm pro to a certain extent, but before I do state my thoughts, I would like you to tell me what you think about it.
That is a touchy subject, and I have mixed views on it. I'm not cut and dry on either side. So here's one thought process, which is anything like involving like politics or controversial things. I personally tend to stay away from as a general speaking, because for my business model, for my main business, I'm trying to not block people from doing business with us. The flip side of that is I also feel that it's good to be out there when, maybe not so much with political things, but it's good to voice our opinions on how we feel or our value system or things of that nature. That way our clients know if they align with us or not. So it is a very, it's almost like a juggling act. I know for us in our main business, we really pride ourselves on safety. We pride ourselves on cleanliness. We pride ourselves on providing the absolute most excellent customer service possible. We create epic events for our people, and we create those positive memories. We create the experiences, and we really pride ourselves on that. So I like to share that. And in sharing that, I do like to share what we do that sets us apart from our competition.
Mm.
Now, when it comes to, if we're talking about personal opinions on controversial topics, I personally try to keep that out of my business side. Like I said, for just for the main reason is I'm not trying to offend people. I'm not trying to block people from wanting to do business with us because we have a different opinion. For a long time, I did share that, and I personally did not see a negative impact by doing so. I just made a cognizant decision at some point to say, my business world is my business world. It's not my personal world.
Yeah.
And My personal world, I will share my thoughts, my opinions, my feelings, my political views with those people who I'm close with on that intimate level or on the level of where we talk about those things. But I'm not dragging it into my business where I'm just showing it to the entire public and potential clients and potential, employees or anything of that nature.
Right, right. Well, like mainly, I mostly do agree with you. I disagree on some points. And also, those topics don't need to be controversial. It's just about, my point of view about where I stand in life or how I see certain topics, or just providing commentary, should I say, on whatever it is that is going on, that is currently, on topic. Is it a good idea to even ever speak about, or do it through your business profile? Because specifically, I can speak right now at this point in time. Of course, I can speak from the point of view of a business owner with products or services that do not involve a personal brand per se, because I've run all sorts of businesses, as you know. But even in brands, as in like, proper businesses, not personal brands, there is this sometimes tendency, and I'm going to give you an example. Um, this is a controversial topic. I've read an article about a wedding preparation business. Those events, kind of like creating like all the event kind of entourage, where they have actually stated, um, no, it was like this. A client came to them and set up an arrangement for the actual wedding, for the actual event. Everything was going forward. Everything was fine. It was almost coming to the payment. The date was close, very close. It was actually, creeping in, approaching very, very fast. And at the last minute, the groom mentioned to the company that there isn't a bride, there is another groom. And that was, I think, around the topics of creating a cake and stuff like that. And the company turned around and actually said that we are refunding the deposit. We are not going to move forward with this event. So, the shocked customer, he's actually wrote back to them and asked, well, why is that the case? And they said, well, we do not appreciate, or we do not believe in same-sex marriages, so therefore it goes against our company values or whatnot, and we are not going to fulfill this request. Thoughts?
Personal thoughts or business thoughts?
I think, this is a podcast. We do kind of dangerously thread, into our own opinions, obviously. So, yeah, personal, I suppose.
My general first response is that, as a business, you have the opportunity to choose who you work with and who you don't. On a personal level, I think it's shit. I shouldn't say that. It's not shit. It's just I personally don't agree with it. I would serve my client because that's my job, is to serve my client, and I don't have the same views as that company. I personally see things how, you know, love is love, and love who you want to love, whatever. But that's not everybody. Everyone doesn't share that opinion, and I think it's another one of those fine lines. As a business, you have that choice. That's why we go into business. That's why we're entrepreneurs, is to create our own whatever aligns with what we believe in. And that's why we don't work for other people, because we may not agree with their values or their line of work or the way they do things. So we create our own. So that is our prerogative. That's our opportunity. That is our right to do so.
Okay, but where is that line then?
I don't think it's clearly defined. There is no defined line.
Because I'm going to tell you, I work with all sorts of people, and the reason why we even got into the topic, I literally, I'm not going to judge you for what you believe in, because if you're a client, you're a client. You come to me with a specific problem, with a specific issue that I am or I am not able to solve. Usually, if you are my client, that means I am able to solve your problem. I am able to help you with your issue. And I don't care what are your personal views on several topics. And, there had been a lot of topics lately that divided people quite a lot, starting from the pandemic, for example. There was a lot of people with all sorts of different views. I've got mine. I know I had clients that were the complete opposite. But when I was speaking to one of my clients who had an opposite view of the whole situation, um, and we had had a conversation, he said, you know what I like about you is that we can actually chat about different topics, even if we're not talking about business, because my clients, the one-on-one clients, they usually tend to become friends. We're closer, we're kind of working together closely, arm to arm, for months on end. And he said, you can always listen, and even though I know exactly that you are of the opposing view, you never try to impose that view on me, or you don't judge me for my one, or we don't have an argument about it. We can have a civil conversation about our differences, which I value very much. That's great. This is a great opinion to have. But I'm just thinking, is that a good way to do it? Or do we should we be more kind of choosy and discerning to only work with people, let's say, that share our values, or are kind of aligned with whatever it is that we believe in?
So my challenge to that thing is there a right or wrong way?
Mm,
I think what determines what's right or wrong is based on the business model, the client. That's who determines what's right or wrong. Not There's no cookie cutter answer for that. And I guess the best way to put it, and this was brought up, I think it was 2 years ago, a year ago. We were requested for a quote through our party round company, and it was for an organization that we didn't necessarily align with. Um, and my office manager had asked me, do we even want to bid this? And my reply to them was, well, are they looking to rent equipment, or are they looking to have us be at the event? Do they want to partner with us, or do they just want to buy from us, so to say? Because if they're
mm,
going to rent equipment, we're going to drop it off, set up. I don't need to know what party they're throwing, what they're doing, what they're not doing. That's their choice.
mm,
We are providing a service at that point. Now, if they want us to partner with them, if they want our logos, then that's a decision for me to say, do I want my business name associated with this type of an organization?
yeah.
And again, that's different from a personal, like that's different from a wedding, but when you're out there in the public's eye, there's definitely certain things that I would say from my business that I would not want to be associated
Mm,
with. For example, if I knew there, and I can't think off the top of my head because I'm pretty open minded with most things, but you know, if there was something that was, you know, like a hate crime organization, I would not be involved with that. There's no way you can get me out. I don't care how much money you're going to give me. I am personally not going to show up at an organization that's promoting hate towards a group of people or a race or whatever. I'm just not going to go. Now, if they just called me and their name was, ABCD, and says, we're looking to rent equipment for our event, I'm not going to ask them who's the event for and what your beliefs are and what you're doing.
yeah,
They just want me to drop something off. Yeah, I'll do that. But
yeah.
if they start saying, "Hey, we want you on site. We want to promote your company and alliance with us," then I'm going to ask those questions because I don't want to be in the public's eye in certain aspects or certain organizations.
Yeah.
So I think it is a fine line, but there's no clear cut, definitive what is right or wrong as a business. I think we have that opportunity and choice to choose what is right for our business and what is right for us personally.
Right. Because you know where I'm going with this. I absolutely understand and I agree with what you just said. But what is it from the point of the customer? So let's say that we are now reversing rules, and we're thinking about our customers now. If everybody's talking about that the best customers are those that share the same values, or at least part of your values, that's the best kind of attraction method in marketing, is via those, via your authenticity or your values, or the way you view the world, you represent yourself. And I'm afraid it kind of treads lightly into your personal life, not just about your business. It's not just about, what kind of business you run, or how you run your business, or how you are with your business, but also what kind of person you are. And we have spoken about it, I believe, a few episodes back. With personal brands and with customers, there is that fine line that is being crossed. So, if it is being crossed from the point of view of customers, and I have spoken to multiple customers who were not happy with the services provided by specific individuals because it turned out after the point of sale that that their values were kind of, going into complete separate directions, and there was no communication like the one that I mentioned, that I had a conversation with my client, but there was a complete discord, in between the two. Should the customers then know? Should we then, I'm talking about you. This is a situation where, like, should they know up front? Should we be more vocal about what we believe in? Should we get into, and I'm not saying that it needs to be controversial topics, but just like I said, a commentary, or stating your point of view on specific things. Would that be valuable to people that are coming from the outside, from the customer's perspective? What do you think?
I think it depends on the type of business you're in and what you're doing.
Yeah, that's why I said personal businesses, because that involves everybody. It's not just like coaches, consultants, freelancers, it's public speakers, that's a very important conversation here when it comes to public speakers, and obviously if if they're being hired, you kind of need to know a little bit more about them than just, the topic and expertise that are going to discuss, because they're going to discuss it in a way that is going to indicate their point of view. So I'm just wondering, people in the public eye, people, we are talking influence, we are talking public eye, we are talking about building a movement. So we are assuming that we are public. We are not hidden behind our computers. We are not hidden behind our product or our service. We are out there in a, kind of in the forefront of our business. What then? Would that be beneficial to customers to know what the person is about and just make an informed choice of whether or not they want to go with them? Or is this irrelevant? Is it just about the business? It's just about the experience, expertise, or whatever it is.
I think there's multiple answers to that. I don't think there's a single because, for example, I know there's a lot of organizations. A friend of mine owns a construction business, or not construction, like a handyman kind of business, and his brand is Cross Home Construction. He bases his off a religious based construction company.
Hmm.
And some people, at least here, they do that. They do a faith based business, so they're trying to attract a faith based clientele.
Yeah, I've noticed
And
that. Yeah.
and now, does that mean that every organization that shares the same faith should go with that company? No, it doesn't. But they may not go with somebody who goes against that faith. You know,
Well,
um,
it depends on how important this particular aspect is for you, right? As a customer and as a service provider.
and what is the service you're looking to receive? If you're looking to book a speaker, or like you said, something along that line, are you going to hire somebody who is not in alignment with your organization's mission, your values, or your goals? If you're looking to hire somebody, you mentioned a wedding earlier, are you going to hire somebody who goes against against your values?
Mm.
And it's there. I think it really comes down to, what is it you're looking to achieve with the service? Are you looking for a service? Or are you looking for a product? If you're looking for a product, it doesn't really matter where the product
Yeah.
comes. I mean, I guess that does matter too, because I know here.
Although it does, exactly, because I do have a product business, and our values as a company is eco-friendly, no animal cruelty, because these are beauty accessories. So obviously, like makeup brushes and stuff like that, it's important that we show that as our value. That this is important to us as an organization. Um, but aside of that, I don't think that there's any talk about personal views, as in one of the people in the company, as in like you, or any of my co-workers.
Yeah, and having that out there is great for people who have a strong belief in that. Like, I'm an animal lover. You say no animal cruelty. I'm going to be more attracted to your product than somebody who doesn't advertise that.
Yeah.
But there's tons of people who could care less about that. They just like, I just want a good product. So they may buy your product because it's a good product, or they may buy it because it's cruelty
Yeah, the
free.
values.
You
Yeah.
you know, so I don't think I mean, you might eliminate some people, but I think you're gaining more by sharing that in that situation.
Mm, mm.
Because there are people that I personally know that would not buy, knowing that it was tested on animals or has any animal product, or there are people that would just absolutely flat out refuse to buy from you because of that. So because of, if it wasn't, you know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah, right.
So yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely a lot to gain by showing that, as long as, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so many layers to it. But I'm thinking right now, I kind of have this idea, I don't know how you're going to feel about this, is provide some information about yourself, but make sure that it has any relevance towards what you're doing in your business. So, well, you're not going to talk about ballerinas if you're a dog walker, or you're suddenly not going to talk about, your love towards space rockets. Although that's fun, if you can tie it somehow to your consulting business. That's where I was going with this. Yeah, just I think it's sometimes it's good. I think sometimes it's good to show a
Absolutely.
little bit of a, a little bit of a nail, it's kind of showing that you're feisty, that you believe in certain things that are super important to you. I actually value that in people, because I wouldn't want to go and work with somebody and then be surprised that we are completely not getting along. Do you know what I mean? And I think a little bit, but just don't make your personal opinions overtake your business.
Right. Don't, and yeah, I have to just go back, because the minute you talked about the whole ballerina dog walker thing, I'm like, unless you're gonna teach the dog like the plie or something.
There actually is a book. I was reading a book to my son. It says dogs can't dance on something like that. And in the end, there's like a little pug, is the main character of the story. And he has this love about dressing up in a tutu and just dancing ballet. And in the end, it actually is that dog, performing on a stage in front of people, and people are just providing a standing ovation, which is, I found it hilarious. So that's my kind of favorite comparison that I started using because of that book.
That's great. I love it. Absolutely love it.
So there you go. I think, not much can be said. Yeah, don't let your own personal shit. It's like, it's like with attitude. You shouldn't bring your bad mood into your business, or things
It
like
is
that.
more.
Yeah. I think that's it. But what do you guys think? As usual, I would love your comments. You can drop some comments in our YouTube channel, and start a conversation. What do you think about that? Is that important to you, that knowledge of who a person is? Do you think it's good to present too much of personal information, or should we just leave it business, or should we reveal some but not all? I would love to hear your comments. For those listening to the podcast, you can always write to us, to our email, habitsofinfluence@gmail.com. You can also drop your suggestions for what topics you would like us to discuss. We're always happy to do that. And of course, if you're liking those conversations, don't forget to like and subscribe so that you don't miss any future episodes. So this is it for this week. A shorter one, short and sweet, to the point. Thank you so much, Ian.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, see you next week.